Time for true.
I know it's a weird thought, but it's true.
Or false.
No, that's just flat out false.
On the Jake Asman Show.
Here we go. It is time for a segment that I normally do on my Saturday program. But if you're just tuning in this morning, no show tomorrow, no show on Saturday, a couple days off here with Memorial Day weekend upon us. So let's end the week in style here. It's time for true or true. I can't speak this morning because my voice is shot from the Knicks and the Islanders having playoff games at the same time.
Why, did they do something good yesterday?
They both won, Ron. So I actually have happiness.
I haven't listened to the first half of the show.
Two teams that gave me basically nothing for most of my childhood are now good at the same time. It's unbelievable. Anyhow, true or false, it's self-explanatory. Ron Culver, my esteemed producer, has put together true or false questions on a variety of different sports topics, and we shall go through them right here, right now. Take it away, Ron.
Given his heroics yesterday, Derrick Rose should start for the Knicks for Game 3 against the Hawks.
True. I don't know how anyone could argue at this point that he shouldn't. Now, if you want to say, okay, you don't want to start Rose, you're comfortable taking him in off the bench, I could live with it if you're not playing Elfrid Payton, though. You know what I mean? Like, you cannot start you cannot start Elfrid Payton under any circumstance. You have to bench him. If you want to put Frank Ntilikina out there for the first 4 or 5 minutes of the game, just so you know he'll play defense on Trae Young, that's a better option than Elfrid Payton. But Elfrid Payton stinks. He has scored 1 point in 2 playoff games so far. He's like a minus 50 when he's out there. You can't, under any circumstance, just play Elfrid Payton in the starting lineup anymore. The Knicks turned Game 2 around last night because at halftime they benched Payton and they inserted Rose into the starting lineup and they played Taj Gibson. You have to make that adjustment if you're Thibodeau. Have to do it.
If he doesn't, then Thibs loses Coach of the Year, right?
Well,
you're gonna strip it from him.
You might have to send a message.
You're gonna pry it from his cold, dead hands.
Regular season award, but I think we need to amend the policy and take away the Coach of the Year award if Elfrid Payton starts Game 3 in Atlanta.
I think it's in the bylaws, in the fine print. All right, moving on to number 2. Although the idea was there, Knicks fans need to be a little more creative with their chants than just simply chanting "Trae is balding."
I would say false. I would say the Trae is balding chant is pretty original. I mean, I looked at Trae Young, and I didn't look at a guy that was balding. My hair thins a little bit. I kind of feel for Trae Young there. Now, I'm sure he'll be okay. He makes millions of dollars. I don't think he'll take it that personally. But I actually thought that was a pretty creative chant. I mean, instead of, the tired, F Trae Young, which they did anyway, Trae is balding. How do you not laugh if you hear that if you're just a sports fan? I actually think that is creative, so I go false.
Subject number 3. Paul George should just start looking at other teams now because the Clippers offseason is already here.
Well, you know what? He signed a long-term deal, so he can't look at other teams. But Kawhi Leonard's got an opt-out. He could look at some teams. He could opt out. And
basically, I'm saying the Clippers offseason is already here.
I think they're cooked down to 2. Do we really trust the Clippers, the team that blew a 3-1 lead a year ago, to now go to Dallas and win a couple games there to save their season? Do we trust them to do that, Ron?
No.
Me neither. So
I'm thinking sweep at this point. I don't see why. Why wouldn't I think sweep?
I mean, the way they have played in the first 2 games, what gives you an idea they're now going to magically flip this switch and play better?
Yeah,
in Game 3,
especially now that they're on the road.
That game will be tomorrow night. So they get the extra day to rest here as they change cities. I don't know. Paul George is like, we're fine. You get 4 losses. Well, you're already halfway there. You lost both the games at home.
You lose one more. You lose one more, you're done. You're cooked.
See you later. Goodbye, Clippers.
All right, true or false number 4. Russell Westbrook wasn't really that upset that popcorn was being dumped on him. He was mostly upset because there's starving people across the country, and it's literally wasting food.
True. That's exactly why Russell Westbrook was upset. He, was just distraught that, in a world in which so many people are hungry, someone was just willing to just dump a full bag of popcorn. And that's also the significance of this. It's not like there were a couple pieces of popcorn. That looked like it was a full, large ball of popcorn.
Like they were waiting.
Like that was like when you go to the movies, you're watching an Avengers film. You want to make sure, you bring your A game. That's what that looked like.
Well, I mean, that's what it is. You see it in movies all the time where somebody has the big bowl of popcorn and there's a fright scene and they do that and the popcorn just like rains down on top of them, but it's a lot of popcorn. I mean, that literally was a lot of popcorn. That wasn't just, I got crumbs in the bag. Let me just dump it.
Enormous amounts of popcorn.
Yeah. All right, moving on. President of the Pro Football Hall of Fame, David Baker, will be knocking on a lot of doors in 5 years.
True. Now, I'm trying to think other than, so Adam Vinatieri retired yesterday. He's clearly a Hall of Famer.
Yeah.
So I would say that's one. Who else retired that would be?
Drew Brees.
Drew Brees. So
Eli Manning.
So Eli would be in 4 years now, right? He's 1 year retired.
No, he retired this past year, didn't he? He retired. He's been down a full year.
Eli's in 4 years.
Who else retired? There was a bunch of them that retired this year.
Phillip Rivers.
Yep.
He's borderline. You consider Phillip Rivers a Hall of Famer? I don't know if I do. I would say he's borderline. Now, you might have a different take on it, Ron, as a Charger fan watching his whole career, which I understand. Drew Brees is a lock. Phillip Rivers, maybe. Adam Vinatieri, yes. Who else retired? Am I missing anyone obvious?
Jason Witten.
Okay. If he's retired, then he's a Hall of Famer.
Unless he comes back again, right?
That's the thing. He left, came back.
All right, here we go. Here's the definitive list. If the computer would work out. There's 20. We got 20 players here, okay? Matt Schaub. No.
Not a Hall of Famer?
Come on. All right, Maurkice Pouncey.
No. Not a Hall of Famer.
No?
A nice player.
Arguably one of the greatest centers ever?
You think he's one of the great centers ever?
Well, it's not me saying. That's people, the word on the street.
All right. Maybe I was too dismissive of him. Maurkice Pouncey. Let me see this.
I mean, 3 Pro Bowls.
That's it?
No, 9 Pro Bowls. I'm sorry. He was 3-time first team All-Pro, 2-time second team All-Pro on the NFL 2010s All-Decade team.
Okay, you know what? Maybe he's a Hall of Famer.
What about Greg Olson?
No, not a Hall of Famer. Very good. If there's a Hall of very good, he's in it.
This website's bugging me. It's going so slow.
Well, we'll move on. But I think to answer your question, it's true because we named at least 3 guys that are Hall of Famers. That's pretty good for one class.
Named about 4.
Phil Rivers.
I mean, that's a tough one, right? I think there's a strong case there. I'm not 100% sure, though. I don't know about first ballot. Maybe he gets on in a year where not many people retired.
Is he a vets committee guy?
Maybe.
That's my favorite thing about baseball. It's like, if he doesn't get in here for the first 15 years, he's on the ballot. 20 years later, the vets committee can put him in. Like, really?
I'm going to get controversial with you right now. Ready?
And you're probably not a Hall of Famer then if you need the vets committee.
Tim Tebow will be in Pro Bowl consideration after his first season as tight end.
False.
He's looking swole.
According to
As
Trevor
the kids
Lawrence,
say, right? Swole. They still use that term.
They do. And according to Trevor Lawrence, we'll play you that audio in quick hits this morning in the next hour. According to Trevor Lawrence, Tim Tebow looks good so far at Jaguars.
See, it's going to be a first ballot or not first ballot. Whatchamacallit?
Pro Bowler.
Pro Bowler. Thank you. All right. After A's president Dave Cavall's comments about the energy of the Golden Knight fans, it's almost a certainty the Oakland Athletics will become the Vegas Athletics.
If they move, I would say true. If you're the A's and you're going to move anywhere, you'd want to move to Vegas. It's such an untapped sports market. You now have the Raiders there. You obviously have had the success of the Golden Knights there for a number of years. If you put baseball there, you know how many people would travel to go see their team when they play the A's every year?
3-game series?
Oh, my God. It'd be, A, Vegas would love it. And B, I think if you're an A's fan, if your team's going to move, it's not a bad reason to have to go to Vegas to watch them. And at least they're still on the West Coast. See, if you move the A's to another time zone, that could be difficult for a fan. But if you move the A's when they're still in the Western time zone, I think that'd probably be best case, or not Western, but, Pacific time zone. That'd be the best case scenario, I think, if you're a fan and you're going to lose your team from Oakland. You don't want to lose your team. You'd rather just get a new arena in Oakland But how long have we been hearing about the A's getting a new stadium? If it doesn't happen, leave like the Oakland team did and go to Vegas.
Yep. All right. Now the ones you've been waiting for. Phil Mickelson. Let me say that again. Phil Mickelson.
Who?
Phil.
Lefty.
Should fake injury during the match. Kind of similar to Rodney Dangerfield in Caddyshack. You've seen that movie, right?
I have, yes.
Remember, he faked that. I don't know what injury it was, but he faked something.
Yeah.
And have Brooks Koepka take his place. But he has to start the match. And then just like, oh, my arm. And then have Brooks Koepka just come on a card and go, here you go.
I'll do you one better. The caddy for
I thought caddy, but no, I mean maybe he's carrying the bag.
Tom Brady and Phil's caddy should be Brooks Koepka.
Yep.
Just to mess with DeChambeau. That is what you do. If you missed it, the match is going to feature Phil and Brady against
we got two more questions, so
okay
about it.
Well, let me tell you, that would be the move. You get Koepka carrying the bags against the old Rodgers DeChambeau pair.
Yeah,
that would be entertainment.
I don't know. I think maybe you just have Brooks and Brady versus DeChambeau and Rodgers. I mean, we can get fisticuffs.
Yeah, it's a shame we can't replace.
And Barkley can call it again and get his wish. Maybe
it's a shame we can't replace Phil with.
So I'm saying, Phil, just have Phil fake an injury.
Yeah, Paul Rodney Dangerfield.
Yeah,
true.
Tom Brady absolutely owned the internet yesterday, etherizing Aaron Rodgers every chance he got.
He did. But here's the thing. I know we got to give credit to Tom Brady because it's his account. Tom Brady is not the one doing the tweeting.
His social media team was on fire.
They do an excellent job, his social media team. There's no doubt.
I mean, my favorite, I think, had to be get ready to see Aaron Rodgers lay up because he doesn't go for it.
Or, the first one, it's like the meme of the Koepka and DeChambeau incident.
Yeah.
And it's like, kicking the field goal down by 7. I mean, that's so funny.
Or 2 champions, a scientist, and a Jeopardy host.
Love it.
I mean, it was great. And then excellent usage of the DeChambeau Koepka meme.
I mean, did a great job.
I mean, that's going to be, I think that, and this is, I know I've been saying this all week long. I know you've been saying it too. This is exactly what the PGA needs. He
also had a really funny, I'm trying to think of there was something else that Brady's account posted that I liked, and now I can't think of it off the top of my head. I'll do my best to remember.
Maybe he's making fun of the Patriots. Next,
Brady's social media team deserves a raise, though. They did a great job.
Yes, and finally, I really want you to think about this one, Jake. Aaron Rodgers looks like that old guy hanging on to any youth he possibly has left in those Hawaiian vacation photos.
He did not look good in those. It's true, but maybe it's false because he just doesn't have any youth that's left. I will say
no, but I mean, it's like that funny scene like in any TV show or a movie where one of the young stars is dating an older guy, but she brings them in with all her young friends.
How do you do, fellow kids?
Exactly. I mean, that's what it looks like. That he's literally just tagging along, like he's the one buying them beer because I can't.
I'm a little upset that Miles Teller, who's with them on the trip, didn't invite me.
Then you didn't get the call.
I mean, we had Miles Teller on the show last year at the Super Bowl in Miami at Radio Row, and I'm a little disappointed that he didn't invite me to his vacation with Rodgers.
If I was you, I'd ban him from the show.
Yeah,
altogether.
Miles, I know you listen every morning. I'm sorry, man. We're not going to have you on the show anymore. So Miles Teller.
He's listening now, even though it's about 3 a.m. there.
Project X star Miles Teller. Remember that movie? One of the greats of all time. Project X. Gotta love it. He was in that movie for like a couple scenes. Played the baseball player. Love it. That Project X is one of the great movies. If you need a movie that's just gonna make you laugh, a couple 90 minutes, throw on Project X. You won't regret it. Nothing quite like it. That wraps it up for True or False here on a Thursday. Yes, a Thursday edition of True or False here on the Jake Asman Show. Quick break and we continue. Hour 1 of 2 almost in the books. Plenty still to get into right here on the Jake Asman Show.